So let's just talk for a minute about the different modes that are available to you. There are a lot of different ways to store the color information in a particular image. And Final Cut Pro can only import certain versions of these. And generally, you want to work in RGB. If you have the option, if you're creating a file from scratch, stick with RGB. It's going to give you the most reliable results. And you can work with either 8 bits per channel or 16 bits per channel. But 16 bits per channel will only work with flat images. If you want to incorporate layers, you have to stick to 8 bits per channel. And then there's no 32-bit per channel support in Final Cut Pro. In terms of the actual color modes, you can save something as a grayscale or a bitmap, and it's unlikely you would deliberately make a bitmap, but you might be importing a bitmap file from the internet or something like that. You can use an index color or a duotone. These are sort of strange. A duotone would be a version of a grayscale file where the colors were identified, not black and white, but two specific colors. And Final Cut can read those fine. An index color file, Final Cut can read fine, although generally, again, these are something that's only used for the internet. RGB, of course, is okay. Final Cut can read CMYK, but the color results are going to be pretty weird because Final Cut's going to be converting that color space on the fly. So I don't really recommend doing that if you can avoid it. And you probably have more control converting it from CMYK to RGB here in Photoshop before you get to the Final Cut stage. And lastly, these last two, Lab Color and Multi-Channel, these are not supported by Final Cut Pro at all. So stay away from them. Stick to your RGB if you can, and you'll be happy.